Hi there, welcome back to my knitting channel. My name is Alona, and today we have a knitting podcast episode where I will tell you everything about my recent finished objects, about my work in progress, and that's it. I want to start with telling what I'm wearing right now. I'm wearing my retro button-up top knitted in Sandnes Garnline. You can see it a little bit over here. This is one of my most worn summer garments because it's knitted with Sandnes Garnline, which is quite summer-appropriate yarn. Plus, it knits so fast, it's light, lightweight, and with light color, so I enjoy it wearing very much, and that's why probably this is one of the most worn garments in my summer wardrobe. The next thing that I want to highlight over here at the very beginning of the video is that I want to say a huge thanks for everyone who subscribed to my channel. We have finally got to 1,000 subscribers, and this means a lot to me. Believe me, this is a huge achievement for me, maybe for someone not, but for me, I'm very, very grateful. And I'm really happy to see you all here writing comments and placing a thumbs up. Thank you so much, and I hope that in future we'll get even more subscribers and more achievements like that. And the first finished objects that I want to share with you, I have 3 of them. 2 of them you have already seen as work in progress, and one of them was new because it was quite quick knit, which may surprise you because you'll see what it is. So let's start from the first garment. And this is my cardi jumper by Otherloop. No. This is my Braidy loop cardigan by Otherloops. I don't know why I remembered about cardi jumper, but whatever. So this is a saddle shoulder cardigan with someone decided to join us. This is saddle shoulder construction cardigan with contiguous details, so you're not picking up stitches over here for the shoulders, for the sleeves. Let's come back to the cardigan. It has V-neck. It's kind of hard to show you right now because I don't have buttons and I don't have ideal one for this cardigan, so for now we will have it without. It has a V-neck, braids or cables along the whole back, on top, and through the whole sleeve. 1x1 rib and 1x1 button band. I think that when you look on it from the distance, you may see that the button band look pretty even, but it's not double knitted button band. This is 1x1 button band, and I have a feeling that it knits a little bit faster, at least for myself. And also, I decided not to pick up all the stitches through the whole cardigan, but to knit this button band just when I go, like pick up stitch, knit the wrong side, then knit right side, knit the last stitch of my button band with pick it up stitch, and then pick up a new one, go with the wrong side. I will try to find some good description of how I did it, but I felt that it was much faster as well. So, for the construction, you're starting over here on the back of your neck. You are casting on several stitches with one of your favorite type of Trudy Magic cast on or something like that. I decided to go with cast on using the barber cord, so you can then put your stitches on hold and return to them a bit later. You are starting from one side, knitting several repeats of cables, and you are starting over here. I think that you should see it You're casting on this amount of these stitches, and then you continue knitting for several centimeters, or a couple of centimeters, I think like 20 or something like that, with 2 cables and 1 column of just stockinette. Then you're finishing for the first shoulder. You're doing exactly the same for the next one, and then you're picking up stitches for the whole 2 fronts, left front, right front, and through the whole back. And because you're knitting your sleeves at the same time, this, like sleeve cup, you're knitting at the same time as you're knitting front and back by increases, you don't have a lot of ends to weave in. So I think that's, again, pretty fast knit because of that. So when you picked up all stitches for front and back, you just start knitting similarly to a raglan construction. You have several points where you need to increase. For the front and back, you're doing it just a little bit, like several stitches, and you continue increasing only for sleeves to get this, like you have this pretty straight line where you have more stitches for the sleeve and don't do anything for front and back. Then to shape the armhole, you're doing again several increases for your front and back, and that's it. And also at the same time you're increasing to get V-neck. You have several rounds of increases as I described in the pattern, so you're getting oh, my hair is flying here. So you're getting this a little bit of a V-neck. It's not too deep, but I think that this looks pretty nice. Then you're knitting your body with several decreases on the body to keep the cardigan not too boxy, but it still will be a little bit boxy. Then you're knitting 8 or 10 centimeters, I don't exactly remember, of 1 by 1 rib. You're finishing it with 2 rows of double knitting and tubular cast off to make it really, really round. Then you can knit sleeves or button band. I decided to knit the button band before the sleeves because it's summer, it's hot outside, and your knit will be lying on you. Plus, for me, it's a little bit harder to have all the cardigan on me, even in winter. It still can be too hot and it's a little bit too bulky on you. That's why I like to finish button band before the sleeves, and then you can knit the sleeves. The body knit's not so fun because you don't have almost anything, you just have a couple increases and a couple of decreases, and that's it. But when you're returning to the sleeves, as you can see, this is sleeves with cables. You have a little bit of cabling for sleeves. You have 2 of them for each sleeve, and it's a little bit tapered, so you're decreasing with several rounds you're decreasing. But be careful. For example, I have quite thin hands, and this type of decreases works well for my hands, but I know that for someone it can be a little bit too much. Even with the fact that the cardigan is quite oversized, the sleeves not so oversized. So try it on while you're knitting, and probably you'll need less increases than I do. And you're finishing the sleeves again with the same 1 by 1 rib and tubular cast off with 2 rounds of double knitting before. The yarn that I've used here is this heavy merino by Knitting for Olive in color oatmeal, and their soft silk mohair in color linen. I think that it creates beautiful, beautiful, natural beige gray color. I see that there is a little bit of pinkish undertone with some kind of lightning like that, with sun probably, but it's really subtle, and definitely I can't wear it right now because it's too hot. Probably that's the reason why the cardigan still doesn't have any buttons, but I hope that soon, when we will have a little bit chillier weather, I will enjoy wearing it. And what else I wanted to tell you about this one? Yeah, probably the fact that I used recommended amount of yarn, but I played a little bit of a yarn chicken with second sleeve. I have a tiny bit of yarn left. I don't know how this happened. Probably I've calculated a little bit wrong the amount of yarn that I need and that I have. Maybe something like that. But we won that game and we have this beautiful cardigan. And it still smells a little bit like sheep. I blocked it, but it still smells a little bit. Oh, yeah. What I wanted to share with you as well is that I used wet blocking for this cardigan, and then I blocked with my steamer sleeves to remove this, you know, like this crisp line, let's call it like that, because definitely when you're blocking with, when you're wet blocking your garments, you got this line over here in the middle of your sleeve, and while you have these cables, the cables won't open too much. That's why I had to use steamer, and it added a little bit of width to the sleeve, so I'm pretty happy that I did it. The next knitted and finished garments that I want to share with you is my blouse number 2. Of course, I will show you some videos of how I'm wearing it. And I decided also to use this little friend to show you my blouse, because I feel a little bit awkward when I need to show you some garments with my hands, but it's still a little bit awkward for me. So this is a pattern by my favorite since knitwear. This is a pattern that she released previous year. This is her second summer blouse. It has beautiful eyelets through the whole knit, boat neck, and it's knitted with DK weight yarn. I've used here only number 14. This is a new yarn by this brand. This is a tencel yarn. It has a lot of shine. It's soft. For me, it knits up much easier than 100% cotton, but still has a lot of drape. So if you're thinking about some summer yarn, probably this can be your choice. And this yarn was kindly gifted to me by the yarn brand, so this is kind of like an ad, but they haven't asked me to tell you about this or something like that, so they just kindly gifted it to me to try on and to knit myself this blouse. The construction over here is pretty, I would say, pretty straightforward. You're casting on in the round some amount of stitches, then you are knitting German short rows and you're forming these, you know, like shoulder seams. You can, I don't know if you can see it here. You have these small shoulder seams, and you knit German short rows. After finishing all of your German short rows, you are knitting in the round, starting with this beautiful eyelet pattern. Then you are increasing for some time, for several rounds. I think it's several, like 2 or 3 for my size pattern repeats. I don't exactly remember by pattern, and you can see how to do it. Then you are splitting for the front and for the back. You are knitting flat front part, back part, and when you are ready to join under the armhole, you are just joining in the round. For my size there was no increases, maybe for bigger sizes there were some of them, but I don't exactly remember. And when you are joining in the round, you're starting to create this beautiful full seam, because if you have a garter stitch in the round, you will see this place where you like the stitches may look a little bit like that, one a little bit higher, one a little bit lower, because you're changing the round. That's why you need to do something with this change of the round, and having full seam really helps and resolves this issue. You have this full seam over here on the body and on the sleeves as well. When you're finished with the body, You can just bind off however you like. I decided to go with the bind off when you're binding off with purl stitch, intent purl stitch, and just binding off. Then you picking up stitches for the sleeves, and sleeves flew pretty fast. I think that the body took a little bit more time than both of the sleeves. For the sleeves, I did more pattern repeats than the pattern suggests, because I have quite long arms and I'm quite tall, that's the reason. And what else? I made a mistake with one of my sleeves. I don't know if you can see. Let me try to show it better. But as you can see, like this part looks like according to the pattern, then we have this strange thing, and again according to the pattern. Why this happened? I was knitting in the evening after work, and I was almost close to finishing my first sleeve when I saw that I made a mistake, like almost three pattern repeats ago, and I didn't want to frog it. So I decided let's keep it like that, and on the second sleeve I just repeated the same mistake. It was done not by mistake. I literally counted how many pattern repeats I need. Then I did the mistake and finished the sleeve. I think that this pattern repeat is quite enjoyable to knit. I find knitting it in the round much more easier for me than knitting it flat. Plus, it grows a lot, so you have less knitting that you will expect from it. Maybe the only thing that I may change with it, and by the way I forgot to mention, I've knitted it way inside in the smallest size, and the only thing that I would probably do is I would seam a little bit the neckline, just a couple of stitches from each side, just not to have too wide neckline, and to raise it a little bit on the shoulders. Probably this will look a little bit better, but it's just because I don't like to have too wide neckline. That's only my choice. And I think that's worth knitting. Probably for the next summer you can knit yourself such beautiful blouse to enjoy wearing it on, I can't say on 2 chilly days, because on 2 chilly days you will need something probably with wool or cotton wool, like at least a little bit of wool, and without lots of eyelets. But still, it's something that you can wear and enjoy in summer, or maybe with some cardigan in fall. And I think that this color looks great on me, especially with jeans. And the last finished object is the one that you haven't seen at all over here on YouTube, but probably if you're following me on Instagram, you know that I've decided to knit myself a dress. One dress I showed you previous time on our podcast, it was MELIDES Dress, and I have finished object, this again a dress, but that's not the same one. I have one more project with sponsored yarn. This yarn was sponsored for test knitting, and this is Atlantis Dress. Previous time you've seen my Atlantis top by Ulen Knitwear, and this time we have Atlantis Dress. And I don't know how to show you it, because this is like this ends somewhere here. This is the length is according to the pattern in between of mini length and midi length, but for me it was around mini length. It's a little bit above the knees, but I haven't blocked this part this dress yet. Wet blocked. I decided to give it a little bit of a steam block, but I still feel that it really needs a good wet block, because I need a little bit of width over here, for example, and with steam blocking I couldn't get what I need. So what about this dress? This dress is knitted in 2x2 rib with contrast armholes and the necklines, and I like to show you everything. That's why we have a lot of this. So This is 2x2 rib. The pattern recommends knitting on 4.5 millimeter needles, but I'm at gauge only with 5 millimeter needles. You can knit it with 2 strands of fingering weight silk, for example from Knitting for Olive, or 2 strands of their merino, or silk and merino. For me, this is 1 strand of merino and 1 strand of silk in colors licorice and coal. And as for the edges, for the edging, I have used Morning Haze merino and lamb's ears silk. I had lamb's ears silk in my stash because I ordered haze, I think, but Morning Haze and haze in Knitted for Olive quite different in the color. That's why I had to switch a little bit with silk to get almost the same color of both yarns. And yes, this was sponsored by Knitting for Olive. Thanks a lot for this opportunity. You're knitting it mostly in the same way as the Atlantis top. You're casting on stitches for your back. You're knitting till here probably, without any increases. Then you're starting increasing for your armholes. When you're finished with all the increases, you just bring the yarn, then you're picking up stitches for left shoulder, or for right probably the first one, then for the left. You're knitting a little bit for the straps itself, then you're starting increasing for the neckline. Break the yarn, make another strap, don't break the yarn the next time. Then you're casting on stitches for the neckline and knitting in the same way as back, with increasing for the armholes, and you're joining in the round. And this is a place where the difference between Atlantis top and Atlantis dress starts. Of course, they have a little bit different gauge, but for the Atlantis top, you are decreasing stitches from your bust to your waist to keep it pretty fitted. While with a dress, you're not doing like that, and you are increasing. I don't know if I could show you with a black yarn. Of course, I will just add a photo where you can see those increases. You're increasing for each end rounds, so you're getting a line dress. Maybe it's hard, but I think I don't want to stand up because I will add additional noise over here. Probably you can see it on the skirt that you have a little bit of a line dress. Probably you can just use this pattern and shape a little bit for your body, like decrease to the waist and then increase for your hips. But I decided to go as a pattern suggests, plus this is a test knit, so I need to follow it. And surprisingly, I knitted this dress in 3 or 4 weeks. In comparison, I knitted a cardigan. I was knitting cardigan for 3 weeks. No, for 3 months. I'm sorry, for 3 months. I had a little bit of a little bit of a problem with my knitting module, but this dress really returned it to me, because this knits really fast, and if you want to knit a mini dress, definitely you don't need a lot of yarn and you will be happy with it. I decided to cast off with cast off in the pattern, and that's why you may see on some photos that I will add that the bottom of the dress, the hemline, can flare a little bit, but wet blocking will fix it. And what else I can add about this dress? I don't know what else I can add, but I definitely recommend you to knit this dress if you want to knit a dress for yourself. Because this dress is knitted in 2x2 rib, you don't have so many stitches as for the stockinette, because 2x2 rib quite stretchy pattern. And I don't know, it was just so enjoyable to knit with merino and silk. That is probably one of my favorite combo right now, because it feels not too warm as 2 strands of merino may feel, and at the same time it's not it's not bothering you so much as knitting with pure silk. So if you would like to try it, I really recommend doing this, and probably will have matching dress with a black yarn. And I forgot to mention the dress I knitted in size 3. Yes, it is a size 3, and I've used 3.5 balls of each pure silk and merino in black color, in licorice and coal, and just a little bit for the contrasting edges. So definitely a dress that you don't need a lot of yarn for and that you can finish pretty fast. So that was it for my finished objects. We haven't spoken for quite some time, but I don't have, like lots of finished objects, and I still feel that I needed a lot while I lost several times my knitting module, so you'll see this in my work in progress. My first work in progress that I want to show you, this is one that you've already seen. It's over here in my project bag made by my friend. I know that you're watching it, that's why I'm showing this. So, it's a little bit scrunched up. I will add again a photo, because yesterday I took a photo in this to see how this looks and even give it a little bit of a steam block. Because I was blocking my cardigan and my dress, I decided to give this one a little bit of a steam block as well, but then I put it into my project bag, and right now it doesn't look so pretty. This is MELIDES Dress, a fingering weight dress with 3.5mm needles for me, in pure silk by Knitting for Olive, in color olive. I feel that's probably one of the most popular color for this dress. I don't know how this happened, but usually I see this dress from, like this bunch of testers. This is again a test knit, because the designer Vert Knit decided to add more sizes and to rewrite the pattern itself, so it will be much easier to understand what to do. And I see quite a lot of people knitting with this exactly the same color. I had my yarn in stash planned for some dress. That's why when I saw the opportunity to test knit it, I decided to dive in. Maybe I rushed a little bit with it, because for my hands, knitting with fingering weight silk for quite some time and flat is a little bit challenging. What surprised me this year, because previous year I knitted several garments with fingering weight yarn and I didn't have any problems, but this time around something happened. Okay, let's move back to the dress. Previous time I've showed you that I was knitting this triangles for the front neckline, I knitted them, but I finished all the not the all neckline, because I will still need to do I-cords for the armholes and for the whole front and back neck. But I finished straps and moved from my waistline to almost to the high hip area. And what I want to share with you about this pattern, this is fully customizable pattern. You have a lot of tables where you can find out a size for each part of your body. Like, for example, different size for waist, for your bust, for your hips, for your high hips, and like that. And you can customize sizing, and the pattern walks through the whole process, how to get from one size to another size, and how to do some customizations. For example, for my dress, I have this waistline much higher than my real waistline, because I saw on Instagram one photo. I fell in love with that variant of this dress, and I decided to do the same. That's why I casted on stitches not for size of my waist, but for size a little bit below my bust. Made several rounds of increases how to get to my bust size, but I did them with more frequent. I made it much more frequently than the pattern suggests, because the pattern suggests how to knit the dress from your waist to from your real waist to your bust, so you have quite a lot of knitted fabric. So I needed to adjust ratio of increases. Then I knitted according to the pattern everything else at the very top of this dress. The dress has the pattern also has descriptions how to raise all over your neckline, how to make, for example, 2 V-necks, or how to make 1 square neck, as here for the back, and 1 V-neck for the front, but you can wear them how you like, and I feel that right now I like more square neckline than the V-neck, but we'll see how this will end up with finishing. Then you are using your stitches that you had on hold from the beginning, because at the very beginning you are casting on with Judy's Magic Cast On, and over here you should be very careful not to have those stitches too stretched, because this will affect your gauge. You are doing several rounds of linen stitch, and then you are starting knitting your skirt. And over here what I did, I needed a little bit more to get to my real waist, because we wasn't at that part, and I decreased again the needed amount of stitches to get to my waistline, because the pattern suggests that it should fit you like a glove, so it should not highlight, but lie pretty nicely on all of your curves. And as you can see, if you can see over here for the darts that you're having, like 4 darts, of course, the dress has its peak, and right now we are getting to increases. That's why it looks like a wave a little bit right now. And then you're increasing, and I did it as well after getting to my waist point. I started increasing as the pattern suggests for the high hip area, and then I have read the whole pattern, but I don't exactly remember what to do with the hip line, and I think that probably this will be the same with increasing with some ratio that the pattern suggests, so it shouldn't be a big deal. At the very beginning I thought that I will need something like a MELIDES dress, or the dress just a little bit above the knees, but right now I feel that I'm not ready to knit for so long with this yarn on these needles, not double-stranded, because double-stranded pure silk is not such a problem. I hope so. Something changed this year, and I really hope that I could finish it on the deadline, but we'll see, because my hands, they really hurt from time to time, and I like this dress, I like how it looks, I like the pattern. The pattern itself is definitely a piece of art, but it's a little bit harsh for my hands. So let's catch up next time and see where I will be next time. And my second work in progress that I want to share with you, this is Genie top by one and only Milena Paulina. You know that I love her so much. She decided to send me this pattern just as a gift. So this pattern was gifted to me by the designer. Yesterday I casted off the dress, the black dress, and I decided that I need something again on chunkier needles. It's not a lot of progress right now, but if you think that I started only yesterday, it's quite a lot. It's around 10 centimeters. I'm using Sandnes Garden liner. As I told you, this is one of my favorite yarns to wear in summer. I know that Drops Bell is quite similar with composition, but I don't like to knit with it. However, knitting with this one is not as with wool, but much more nicer to my hands than knitting with pure silk in one strand or with Drops Bell. So what we have over here, this is a beautiful top knitted from bottom up. This is probably the only thing that I agree to knit bottom up is tops. With keyhole neckline. I think it's called like that. I will add you over here a photo how it looks like. Basically, you're knitting a little bit of the rib, one by one rib, then you're knitting some part of stockinette, then you're splitting for 2 fronts, 2 backs, and you're knitting them separately with some decreases, and then you're creating a part where you can add your I-cord and you tie this top with your I-cord. I think that's quite popular way of tying up tops this summer, and I really hope that I could finish it. I thought at first that I could finish it in my upcoming trip, but right now I thought that probably I could finish it before the trip and wear it during the trip. I think it's still possible, because this is just stockinette in the round, not flat, so you can just binge watch something. This is already the time to watch Gilmore Girls, so I can just binge watch it and knit it. And probably this will be my final specifically summer garment, because I don't feel that I need more of them, and I don't. Maybe I will need something like always camisole to wear it underneath blazers to the office, and that's it, but we'll see. That one should go pretty fast as well. And that's it. That's currently my 2 works in progress. What we will have next is that this week my yarn for test knit for Milena should came into the mail, so I will start swatching and test knitting her beautiful vest, Ellie vest. I will add the photo, of course, over here so you can see it. And probably you're wondering why I'm test knitting so many things. If I had the New Year resolution to test knit less, just because when the time passed, I understood that probably I won't keep this New Year resolution, and I want to test knit because I'm a crazy person, I like deadlines, and not only that, I also like knitting in a group. I like knitting with a lot of people, knitting the same item, share our thoughts about it, share our progress. This really helps me, this inspires me, and when I have the deadline, I really know that I won't spend 3 months on one cardigan, right? But also have a petite knit cardigan that I want to knit. Maggie cardigan with long sleeves, so we'll see how much time that one will take. Probably after finishing this top, I will start that cardigan. I haven't swatched yet, but I have the yarn. So we'll see how the things will go. And that's it what I had for you today. Thanks for watching. Happy knitting. Happy whatever you're doing. And before I see you next time, please let me know in the comments below what you're knitting right now. See ya!